Hello everyone and welcome back to Guitars King. Today, I don't want to talk to you about Quad Cortex or do tutorials or explain how to achieve a certain sound, but I want to introduce you to this. This is the PRS Custom 24 SE semi-hollow with Piezo. This is a very special guitar, which I was honestly waiting for. I am a lover of multifunctional guitars. Specifically, I remember when the Parker just came out. Fly, now I don't remember 96, 95, 96, I immediately bought it because it had this built-in piezo that was amazing. And recently, I had the need to have a guitar with a piezo. But I still hoped it was a decent guitar without spending a fortune. So recently this guitar came out. At the moment, it can be found on various stores at prices ranging from $1,590 to $1,700. And so it's definitely not a budget option, but for the type of guitar, it's certainly a great price. So today, I want to show it to you. See and listen to it. Just to give you an idea of what kind of instrument it is. And if any of you are interested in this type of guitar, you can obviously find some information here. So I would say we can start right away with technical information. So let's get straight into the details. So this is, as mentioned, a version. So if you look back here, you will find some indications that it is made. I don't remember anymore. If it's in Indonesia, yes, it's in Indonesia. And let's say it has a PRS in every respect, the body contours change a bit, but broadly speaking, let's say that you can recognize the quality and construction standards of PRS. Let's say the special features of this guitar, besides the piezo system on the bridge, which is an LR Bex, thus of excellent quality, they have put on the SE version these knobs in the US version style. It's the classic custom 24, so two humbuckers, which in this case are the 8515S, 8515S. The version, therefore, for the SE, splittable. Here, we have a 3-position switch, so actually we have 2 central humbuckers and a humbucker at the neck. When switching, we have the internal single coil, 2 internal single coils, and the single coil at the bridge always in the internal version. Okay? This third knob is used to manage the piezo. So with this knob here, I can lower the volume of the electric guitar and then raise the piezo or go simultaneously, but we will see this in detail shortly. Regarding the finishes, there will be a dedicated video. Anyway, you see, this is a beautiful blue flamed maple. Here you can see it. Let's take it out of direct light. Okay, a nice flamed maple. The body is made of mahogany. Okay, in 2 parts, if I remember correctly, yes. So there's the upper and lower part of the body, while the front board is divided into 2 central parts. While at the back we have one piece of the body and another piece of the body. The same goes for the neck, which is in two pieces. So, mahogany body, flamed maple top, maple neck, unlike the classic PRS US, which are in mahogany, and have a rosewood fingerboard, which is a good rosewood. The binding all around the headstock, on the neck, on the body, very nice. And this violin F-hole, basically, this part of the guitar essentially is from here. But here it's hollow, it's empty, okay? A very interesting feature for a guitar at this price. The attention given to the details is remarkable. I own a 2012 PRS Studio, which is very, very beautiful. But I must say that this guitar shows some differences, especially in the initial setup of how the guitar arrives, and obviously, the type of cuts, the woods. However, in this case, we have in the bridge section, I don't know if you can see here, this foam that isolates the noises that could come from the bridge, especially if a guitar has a piezo. So if the bridge and piezo are used together, even more noises could enter through the saddles. And the piezo, as you can see, is fitted here, and essentially these brass saddles, which is also interesting, have a small piezo inside that picks up each individual string. In the back, however, what do we have? We have an output, a jack for the magnetic pickup, so for the humbuckers, or an output for magnetic, mix on the magnetic essentially here. From this output, you can practically use a single jack, and you'll be able to get the sound of both the acoustic guitar, so both acoustic to piqué, piezo, and the magnetic pickups. Be careful that if you leave the jack inserted in this case, in this input, the battery that is positioned here, well, the classic battery, 9 volts will drain. So you need to remember to unplug the jack at the end of the day. This one, however, which is the magnetic only input, if you were to leave the jack inside, nothing would happen. Obviously, so you can leave it there. Because there are two outputs, because if I plug a jack here and a jack here, I will have two independent signals, so I can connect the classic sound of the guitar with magnetic pickups directly to the amplifier, the module, wherever you want. And instead from here, output an acoustic guitar sound managed by this independent knob that will be sent to another board, rather than a DI or an acoustic guitar amplifier. So in this way, you can play with two separate signal flows. I will now demonstrate it with a single signal flow, also because one of the interesting things is being able to mix, in some cases, the sound of the electric guitar with that of the guitar acoustic. In a single signal, in a single patch, which is very unique. Okay, so very quickly I want to show you with a sound style. AC30, and let's say from my Quad Cortex. I want to let you hear how these pickups sound. Okay. This is our pickup. At the bridge, we switch it, so we pull up our push and pull, and we make it sound like a single coil. You can hear that even as a single coil, it manages to have a good body. Now we go to the middle, we leave the push-pull up, so I'll have a sound, let's say tele style, so single coil, single coil. Single coil keyboard. And now, let's put it back to the center and listen to the two pickups and backing together. pickup at the keyboard. Okay, listen, this is very more mid-range, chunky. Very comfortable to play this guitar. I mean, reaching the 24th fret is really simple. The neck radius of the keyboard is a 10 radius, while the classic short scale of 25 inches is for the neck. You can hear that by switching and playing a bit lighter. The sound of the guitar really changes. So now here I'm using the 2 central single coils. Very, very, very nice. After, maybe we try to hear it with the Fender using the same preset, then we move on to exactly a bit more of a crunch. That was the sound of the humbucker pickup. Now let's try it. Single coil. Let's hear the 2 central singles with a crunch. Okay, now let's hear the 2 humbuckers together. And let's hear the humbucker at the neck and then the single coil. Single chord. Okay. We can obviously move on to situations with more intense sounds. Okay, now let's change the sound. Let's hear how it sounds. It's a distorted one with a crunch. This isn't a very heavy distortion, okay? A distorted crunch with a bridge pickup. Let's hear, I don't know, the central pickup. This is obviously a saturated distortion on the central pickup. Maybe we won't use it, but by lowering the volume, let's see how it reacts. Diamogli un po' di delay. picked at the neck, I push. The coil. Okay, a fairly versatile guitar. As you can hear, we can push some more aggressive sounds if we want. Okay. It also has more delicate sounds to stay more. Vediamo qui. Now to say if a sound like this I can add by turning this knob, the sound of the piezo. So listen to what changes. This is now just the piezo playing. I mix with the magnetic pickups to achieve some more unique things. Okay, obviously, this isn't the main reason why someone buys a guitar like this, but you can also mix these sounds, a bit unusual. With a great reverb. And now instead I change effect, and I'll let you hear how the acoustic guitar sounds in here. It's really interesting. So I turn it off, as you can see. I lower the volume of the magnetic and raise that of the pickup. You can hear it, it already comes back in. I set a patch dedicated to the acoustic guitar, add a bit of reverb here. Now, this is irrelevant because I'm not using the magnetic pickups, and the tones don't work either, okay? Can you hear? Listen to how good this guitar sounds. Even when played with fingers, it almost seems, I mean, it gains even more, in my opinion, in credibility, you see. Not to mention that you can use tremolo, right? So that's an added feature. And we'll So it's very, very credible. Then, I don't know, whether for solos, solos. Here's an important thing. The sound changes a lot depending on where you place the pickup. Depending on where you play. Here it sounds a bit fuller, just slightly less so. But be careful. Now let's do an experiment. So now let's see what's in the patch. Because actually, here I also have an IR, but I keep it much lower. An IR that simulates acoustic guitars, but I keep it low I use it just to give a bit more body. Now I'll remove it so you can really hear the clean sound of how this guitar plays, just with a compressor and an EQ paired. So this is the guitar. Okay, here you hear. So this is the true sound of the acoustic pickup of this guitar. So the piezo pickup, if I then activate an IR with an acoustic guitar sound in the patch, it will help create a more realistic sound. Because if you hear this IR on its own, it's actually not that nice, you hear. But it gives it that ambience needed to create a somewhat more real sound. Then I give it my piezo, and here we are. Okay, I'll let you hear. I don't know how it sounds. with distorted sounds. The difference between this one and maybe a Fender, then maybe one day we'll do the difference between a PRS USA and a PRS SE version. So let's go back to the previous presets. Let's go with this one. So let's go for a crunch sound. Let's pause here for a moment and I'll let you hear the difference between the two. How does this sound distorted? Okay, let's hear it. PRS. The pickup is more driven and more open, and the one on the Fender is a JB by Seymour Duncan. Now we'll try it with the single coil neck pickup. What can I say? We've taken a look at this gem, both aesthetically. There are different colors because there's a classic. Honey, there's this blue, there's a black, if I remember correctly. There's a sunburst. That should be it. This video is not sponsored by anyone. This is a guitar I bought for myself because I liked it and intended to buy it. And that's why I'm showing it to you. So I hope this video can be useful to those of you who are looking for a similar guitar or were curious to understand how this one is made. It's the first time I'm doing a guitar review, so I kind of just threw it together. Later I might do a voiceover for the features I forgot along the way. I hope it has been useful to me. If you are interested and want more videos where we show or compare guitars, let me know in the comments and I'll see how I can organize it. All right? Thanks for now, and we'll talk soon. Until next time, bye.